The worst thing you could do in the streets is be around the money and can't get you no money. Being around the money and can't get you no money is a bad feeling. I was downtown one night and I'm a name drop here because my guy, he passed away. And his name was Lil Nuke. He was a real gangster. He came up to me and asked me, could I do something for, 10 bands or whatever. And I was like, 10 bands, like, whoa, I can make a few calls, but, I wasn't having it like that. So I could make a call to make that happen because that would be a nice little cut for me. So he was like, if you can't make that happen, I could up it to 20, but we got a small dilemma here. So I said, what's the dilemma? He said, come on, follow me to the car. I followed him to the car, and he had some red dye pack money where he had robbed the bank. And God bless the dead, he did. He passed on now. So like I say, I'm being as accurate as I can here. So I was like, let me make a call to see if my guy would accept the red dye pack money. So I called my guy, and he was like, yeah. I called somebody on the other end, and they told me if I brought that, they would accept it. So I ended up making more money with him that night on one deal than I had did in any other deal. But that got me and him real close. And he would come shoot basketball with us and be around us and hang around or whatever. So anyhow, he called me one night. He was like, hey man, I wanted to know if you want to come tag along. I got a little deal set up or whatever. So I'm starving. I may have like 1,000 on some days, 1,500, but most of that money was going to my girlfriend or either my mama. So, if I had $300 or $400 in my pocket, it was always a bonus. So I tagged along with him, and he said, we got to make a stop. So he went by another homeboy house to go and get some. He said, I need to go get some front money. I'm like, front money? He was like, yeah, we want to touch this guy. He going to bring some, and then I want you to be with me, and me and you can split it. So I said, okay. So we go, and the guy gave him some front money. I think he gave him about $2,000. But he called the guy and tell the guy that where to meet us at. And we met at a particular store in Tallahassee, So when we came, I was it's a two-door car we sitting in. So his job is to get out and go to the guy with the money. We pull right into the parking space. His job was to go to the guy with the money. I'm on the driver's side, so the side that he pull on, the only thing about it is it's a two-door car. So I got to push the seat down, and I got to reach for the door, and I got to pull up the fire. When I did that, I did it in a smooth motion, but I didn't notice the guy sitting in the back seat to where he was talking to the guy at the front seat. I ain't know it was a guy in the back seat. So when I up fire, I heard somebody say, get out the way, and boom. I'm to my glass everywhere. And I tried to squeeze back, but the gun that I had jammed. And I just seen a lot of money just go in the air because I thought maybe I was hit because the guy shot, how he shot the shotgun, he didn't shoot it directly at me. He shot it in the angle from the back seat to the front door, and I was standing a little bit to the in the clear from the door, so all that glass they got all over my face. So I remember running across Appalachia Parkway and running across the street to where, the car had done resided at on the other side. I run across Appalachia Parkway, and the only thing I could do is jump in the front seat and let the rear view thing down, the sun valves, I let that down and look, and it was glass all in my face, fragments of glass. None of it didn't get in my eye, but, I had little polka dots all over my face. So with that guy there, ended up being like how he was, me and Nuke was always trying to scheme up on something. And that night, something went off in my head, and it was influenced by Fat. And he came to me, I was in there with, witch hazel pointing over my face, and I was trying to pick out these fragments of glass all over my face. And he said, look, bro, you supposed to be up here trying to get some money. He said, man, these niggas gonna kill you up here, and I'm gonna give your mama the money to bury you. He said, man, stop doing that, man. Try to get you some money, man, cause it was almost like if you've been following the audio book that I'm producing here, it was almost like I was under dope game slavery. So I had to move and groove. I had to knock a few niggas off. So another thing came to me, and it came to me, it just basically fell in my lap. I got a call. This guy called me, was like, what's happening? I'm here. You think you can help me out with something or whatever? But man, it wasn't nothing. The city was dry. I mean, the city was dry. And I'm just going to say city. It was dry. So he was like, man, I'm here. I'm at the dentist, blah, blah, blah. I got $7,000. I was like, okay, let me see what I could do. So I knew it wasn't nothing. So what I did is went down to the dollar store. I bought some candles. I hustled back onto my homeboy house, and I melted the candles. The only thing about me melting the candles, I couldn't put it to where I needed it to be. It was too thick after I melted it. But it looked real. I just needed to bag it up and put it in more than one bag to make it look a certain type of way. Because if he saw it, he knew, he already knew what it was. So anyway, he kept calling me. So finally I answered the phone after me running from my homeboy house. It took me about maybe like 40 minutes to get that together. I'm running. So I stopped and called him. And when I answered the phone, he gave me the assumption of what I needed to tell him. He gave me the inclination of what I need to tell him, right? So he was like, man, what's going on? I was breathing hard. And I was like, man, the police chased me. He said, police chased me? I said, yeah, I'm going to come to you, bro, but I ain't going to be able to talk to you or nothing. I'm just going to drive by you and stick my hand out the window, and you just give me the money or whatever. So he was like, man, I'm at the dentist. I'm parked right in the back. So I came through. I had the thing wrapped in about 3 or 4 plastic bags to make it look real blurry. Man, I gave it to him. And when I gave it to him, you understand, he took it, gave me the money. We drove off, and, he called me about maybe like an hour later and said, man, I looked at that, man. He said, man, that ain't there, man. That's boo, man. He was like, man, I need that money back, bro, whatever. So I was like, what you mean that boo? He was like, man, that ain't no good, bro. You understand? So I was like, all right, bro, I'm finna bring you your money, man. And I hung up with him, man, and took the phone and threw the phone in the bushes.